Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at more Am I Wrong stories. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. I'll admit I'm biased right off the bat. I couldn't stand her. I call her his ex to myself and others. He called her his friend. We're all in our early 40s. She died recently, aneurysm. I've been with him 10 years now, but he'd known her for 20 plus years. The way he tells it, they were friends in college, decided to date, got married, then realized they weren't a great couple and decided to just be friends. All that happened years before I met him. He was clear early on that she was important. A couple months into dating, it came up that his friend was actually his ex-wife. He explained the above to me, saying she was one of his closest friends and that it was purely platonic. I expressed some discomfort at him being so close to an ex, and he told me, that's fine. If you have a serious issue with it, let me know now and save us some time. I'll choose her. I like you and all, but I've known her for over 12 years and she's one of the most important people in my life. You'll have to be okay with that if you want us to be a thing. When we were engaged, I asked again. He gave me this perplexed look and asked, why would us getting married affect my friendships? I sucked it up and went along. I resented every moment of knowing her, especially when we had to be social. She understood some part of him I couldn't. Her husband was friends with mine as well, so it's not like I could use him as an angle. He'd have lunch with the ex, they'd go to the geeky movies and whatever. The few times I brought it up, he said we had this conversation before. You had your chance to back out. She died after they had lunch the other day on the way to her car. He spent a bunch of time crying, but honestly, I was relieved. Why would you be relieved at someone dying, this heartless monster? Reading this, I already know she's in the wrong. Jeez. She sounds so freaking insecure. Like he already told you, if you don't like someone being close to the ex, then don't date them. You know, like she still has a problem with his ex. You had the choice to not date him, but you still decided to date him. You knew he was close to his ex, but you still decided to dive your head in. So what were you expecting? He's not going to choose someone random over his best friend of 12 years. My argument summed up, she's dead, so she's not a factor anymore. He doesn't get to use his she's my friend excuse since she doesn't exist anymore. He had his cry for a couple of days. He gets to be done with mourning her already. There's no need for him to go to her funeral since I wouldn't want her at his. He was the angriest I've ever seen him when I told him that, replying that he'll be going no matter how I feel and that he's willing to burn this to the ground while holding up his wedding band. Besides you, she was the closest friend in my life. Him, her husband, and my sisters are calling me an insensitive ass over this, or saying there was no romantic aspect to the relationship and that I'm heartless. I never felt the relationship was appropriate, and I hid that for years because I wanted to be with my husband. Now that she's gone, I don't feel I should have to hide it anymore and can speak freely. Am I wrong for just wanting him to be done with her and for him to not attend the funeral? Of course you are. Like, why don't you think you're wrong? Why does she even think she's 1% right when she's relieved that someone died? Like, what? How are you happy that someone died and that someone was your husband's best friend? How are you happy when your partner's best friend died? Are you kidding me? Like, this person just sounds so freaking insecure. You were jealous over your husband's friend? Like, dude, yes, they were married before, but they got divorced. You know what that means? It means they're not right for each other. That's why they got divorced. They realized and they just decided that they'd just stay friends. If they still liked each other, why would they get a divorce? It annoys me so much because he literally told her already, if you have a problem with this, then let's not date. Let's not go anywhere with this. And she literally lied then. She pretended like she was okay with it when she was not okay with it at all. That one line already tells us what kind of person she is. She was relieved. Seriously, she's looking at her husband crying and she's also relieved. And she doesn't want her husband to go to his best friend's funeral. And it's the fact that this person has been with her husband for 10 years and they still had a problem with his ex. Seriously, tell me you're insecure without telling me that you're insecure. This is literally it. So dumb, so dumb. Like, why didn't she back out if she was so insecure? Just don't date him then. Find someone who doesn't have an ex as a best friend then. But I feel like even then this person would still be insecure because they're just the type of person to not be trusting. You know? Jeez. Ages. I'm 30, my husband is 34, and Amy 22. Our niece Amy, my husband's half-brother's daughter, stayed at our home recently for almost 2 weeks. Amy had exam season at college. Her school is a bit of a drive from where she lives and she'd be losing a lot of studying time going back and forth, so she asked if she could stay with us as we're nearby. She didn't pay any type of rent but did reimburse the increase in utilities. She offered to pay for utilities, by the way. We didn't ask her to. We agreed because this was for an educational purpose, and I made it very clear to her she couldn't be using this time for socializing, mingling with friends, and so on. Amy agreed to everything. Last week, I came home from work and saw Amy's husband in the kitchen. He'd come with a report she left at home. I asked her what was going on. She said she made him coffee since he made the trip and he's only here for 30 minutes. I reminded Amy we allowed her to stay here to make her studies easier, not so she can be bringing men over. I've also discussed this with her beforehand and she agreed, but now she's going against it. Amy started acting snarky, so I replied she needs to respect other people's house and rules, otherwise she can leave. She got upset and was quiet the rest of the time, but she did end up leaving a few days early. My husband said Amy should have respected the rules, but I was too harsh on her. I did text her later, but she didn't reply and she didn't pick up my husband's calls either. He did talk to his half-brother and they were pissed off, but I also told a couple of my family members about it and they think I'm fine. Am I wrong? I just don't see the big deal of, you know, someone coming over to drop something off. Like, I don't think that's bringing men over. Is that bringing men over? What? Huh? I guess it is the house rules though. But I just feel like it wouldn't be like a big deal, you know, if someone's just staying for like 30 minutes and she just made him coffee to talk to him for a bit and then he's gonna leave afterwards. Because he literally came there to drop something off for her. Like, he didn't come to mingle. I just don't think it's a big deal, but I guess some people think it's a big deal, so I can't really say anything about it. Because not my house, not my rules, right? And this person's a little weird because why would you even expect your niece to be paying rent when they're just living there for 2 weeks? Like, really? You would expect your relative to pay you rent when they're just living there for 2 weeks? Like, heck, I would even ask my friend for rent if she needed to live somewhere for 2 weeks. I'd just be like, okay, just come here. You know? Why would you charge someone rent, especially your relative? Okay, maybe I just don't understand that. Maybe some people actually do that and it's normal. Yeah, I don't know. But at the same time, it is their house, their rules. So I can't really be judging and saying anything, right? Because everyone's different. Just because I would let someone do something doesn't mean other people would. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!